The Empire's first mistake. In the far edge of the galaxy, there was a dark region known only as Sector 0. No one entered it, no one mapped it, and no one returned from it. All that floated near its borders was an old satellite with a blinking, red signal. It carried a message in every known language. Warning, Earth Sector, do not enter. But Commander Varn of the Galactic Empire laughed when he saw it. This is just an old planet, he told his crew. A dead rock with nothing to offer. We will take it for the glory of the Empire. His ship, Draxion 7, was part of the Empire's new conquest fleet. Hundreds of battleships followed behind. Varn was young but proud. He had already led 3 planetary invasions. To him, Earth was just another easy win. As they entered Earth's orbit, the crew noticed something strange. The planet looked beautiful. Blue oceans, green forests, and white clouds. No pollution, no satellites. No signs of modern life. Primitive, said Varn. They must have gone extinct. The ships landed in a wide, open valley. The grass was too green, the air too perfect. It felt unnatural. Still, the aliens began building a forward base. Metal towers rose. Sensor beacons were placed. Troops marched. Drones flew. But there was no response from the planet. No humans. No weapons. No resistance. Then, just before midnight, the sky changed. A glowing red message appeared above the alien camp, floating in the air like magic. Leave now. This is your only warning. The troops panicked. Some tried to fire at it, but their plasma weapons jammed. Others ran back to their ships, but the control panels were dead. Varn growled. Some kind of trick. Maybe an old AI system left behind. He ordered the message to be removed, but when drones tried to scan it, they malfunctioned and fell from the sky. Then came the strange sounds. First, the humming. It was low and steady, like the beating heart of a planet. Then came the whispers. Not alien, not digital, human whispers. But no human could be seen. A soldier named Tekvar disappeared while patrolling the perimeter. His tracker went silent. An hour later, they found his helmet, burnt black, melted around the edges. Next to it, on the soft ground, was a single footprint, a human footprint. Commander Varn's second-in-command, General Clith, stared at the mark. This can't be. Humans are gone. They left the galactic stage over 1,000 years ago, Varn snapped. Then who is doing this? Who dares mock the Empire? He doubled the patrols, deployed scanners, armed every soldier. Still, no answers. That night, the second soldier went missing. This time there was no trace at all. Then a new message appeared on their base monitors. Not on screens, not on data pads, but projected onto walls, ships, and even the dirt itself. You were warned. Commander Varn began to feel the first signs of fear. The planet wasn't empty, it was watching. On the 5th day, the fleet tried to lift off and escape, but the ships didn't respond. The engines had been disabled from the inside, without setting off a single alarm. A blurry video was captured from one of the ship's internal cams. A figure, tall, armored, and silent, was seen walking through the hallway. Human. But not like the ones they remembered. This one moved like a ghost, a shadow. It passed through locked doors without effort. Its armor glowed faintly, marked with an ancient Earth flag. None of the aliens had ever seen a human like that before. What is this? Clith whispered. Varn didn't answer. He was frozen, staring at the paused frame of the figure. The next morning, the fleet's communication systems went down. Not jammed, erased, and then a single message played through every working speaker. You were given one warning. The next mistake will be your last. Varn stood in silence. His hands trembled. For the first time, he understood. This was no abandoned world. This was a trap. And they had just stepped into the lair of the most dangerous species ever known. Humans. The message in the sky, The alien camp had become quiet. Too quiet. Soldiers whispered instead of shouting. Drones hovered lower than usual, scanning the same empty hills over and over again. No one was laughing now. Not even Commander Varn. It had been 3 days since the strange sky message appeared and 2 soldiers went missing. The Empire's most advanced scanners couldn't find who or what was behind it. Still, Varn refused to retreat. Earth is ours, he told his officers. We are the Galactic Empire. We do not run from ghosts. But that night, the sky changed again. It wasn't just a glowing message this time. It was a full vision. Above the camp, clouds twisted unnaturally into a massive circle, spinning like a storm without wind. Then the air split open, like a giant, screen-tearing, and showed a terrifying image. A battlefield, burning ships, fallen alien bodies, explosions, screams. It was the past. A battle from long ago, one the Empire had erased from history. The battle for Earth, the day humanity vanished from the galaxy. Alien soldiers in the camp watched in horror as the vision showed humans fighting like monsters. Fast, smart, unstoppable. Every time a human soldier fell, 2 more replaced them. They fought without fear. They used weapons the Empire still couldn't understand. They won battles they should have lost. Then came the voice. Deep, calm, human. We asked for peace. You brought war. We disappeared, but not because we were weak. We disappeared because you were not ready for what we became. The sky went dark. The image ended, and the wind whispered something ancient in human language. This is your final warning. Commander Varn stood frozen outside his command tent. His second-in-command, General Clith, approached. We should leave, Commander, Clith said quietly. This is not a normal world. Varn turned to him slowly. Leave? After how far we've come? Another officer shouted from the control tower, interrupting. Commander, the Empire's central database is being rewritten. What? By who? We don't know. Something from Earth just uploaded into every Imperial file. Across the galaxy, every terminal in the Empire flashed with the same message. Earth is not yours to touch. We remember. We watch. On 1,000 worlds, politicians and warlords blinked at their screens, confused and terrified. Who had the power to override every Imperial system? Who had done it, from Earth? Back at the alien camp, fear spread like wildfire. The soldiers began arguing, blaming each other. Some wanted to desert. Some tried to escape on foot. One even shot himself, believing the humans were already inside his mind. Commander Varn tried to keep control. These are scare tactics, illusions, trickery. But deep down, even he didn't believe it anymore. Because that night, something new happened. A human walked straight into their camp. He wasn't armed, he wasn't hiding. He simply stepped out of the forest and stood there under the moonlight. He wore black armor with a silver stripe across the chest, a mark no alien recognized. His face was covered by a mask. No heat signature, no heart signal, no sign of life. Yet, he moved with perfect calm. The soldiers surrounded him, weapons shaking in their hands. The human didn't speak. He just held up a small device, a glowing cube, and it played a single message. You ignored the warning. This is your consequence. The cube pulsed once and then vanished, taking the man with it. Gone, like a ghost. A second later, the lights in the entire camp exploded. Screens shattered, batteries melted, ships caught fire. The main control tower crashed to the ground, as if pushed by an invisible force. Dozens were injured, and written in burning letters across the side of the mountain near their camp were 5 simple words. You should have stayed away. By morning, one fact became very clear. The humans were not dead. They had never left. They were just waiting, watching, and now they were angry. The human ghost operative. No one slept that night. The alien camp was in ruins. Power was gone. Ships were useless. Communication lines were dead. Fires had been put out, but the fear still burned. Soldiers sat with their backs to walls, weapons ready, staring into the dark. Even seasoned warriors whispered among themselves like scared children. Commander Varn stood alone in the command tent. Sweat ran down his neck. He kept replaying the same frame over and over. The last security recording before everything went dark. A shadow. Human-shaped. Wearing dark armor. Moving silently through the corridor of their command ship. But there was no face. No ID. No energy reading. Just a presence. His name didn't appear on any scanner. His footsteps didn't leave a sound. They started calling him the Phantom of Earth. At 0400 hours, a loud shriek came from the west perimeter. 3 guards had been stationed there. Only one returned. His eyes were wide. He couldn't speak. His hands were shaking violently. When they finally calmed him, he whispered. He walked through the shield, like it wasn't even there. What did he look like? Varn demanded. The why? Guard trembled. He didn't look. He wasn't looking. He moved like he knew where we all were, as if he could hear us thinking. Commander Varn ordered drones to scan the area, but they found nothing. Again, no footprints, no trace, just silence. By mid-morning, a trail of burned-out equipment was discovered near the supply tents. It looked like something, or someone, had passed through and melted every power core. Even backup batteries were drained. Then something stranger happened. The alien soldiers started getting sick. Not physically. Mentally. Some began hearing whispers. Others said they saw figures watching them from behind trees. Tall humans with glowing, red eyes. One soldier tried to run into the forest. When they stopped him, he screamed, "He's inside my mind!" Commander Varn didn't know what to believe anymore. Machines were failing. Minds were breaking. He needed answers. He ordered a search of their camp's central system, trying to trace back the voice that had broadcasted the warning. What they found was impossible. There was no code. No sender. The system had never turned on, yet the message had played. The warning had been heard. At noon, a single object appeared outside the camp walls, a helmet, human, ancient design, cracked visor, blackened with age. Attached was a message carved into the metal in a language every species knew. This belonged to the last invader. Suddenly, no one wanted to fight anymore. Even General Clith whispered, "We should leave before it's too late." But there was nowhere to go. Their ships were still dead, and Earth was no longer just a planet. It was a trap. Later that night, another video surfaced, hacked into every screen that still worked. It showed a shaky recording from a drone. At first, just trees, wind, silence. Then, movement. The human, tall, strong, armor glowing faintly with electric blue lines. He moved like a shadow, effortless, graceful, inhuman. He walked straight up to the drone. Then he looked directly into the lens. Even though he wore a mask, the soldiers watching the footage felt seen, as if he was staring through the screen, right into them. And then the human spoke. "You are being watched, you are being tested. Fail, and Earth won't be the only thing you lose." Then the drone exploded. Commander Varn gripped the edges of the control table tightly. He had led wars, crushed rebellions, burned cities, but now he felt like a child. "We underestimated them," he finally admitted. "These aren't the same humans from history." General Clith stepped forward. "Then what are they?" Varn stared into the darkness. Something worse. The alien soldiers had stopped speaking. Even the wind felt heavier now. Commander Varn sat in the broken command center, surrounded by flickering lights and shattered screens. All systems were down, except one. A single data terminal glowed, with a soft white light. No one had turned it on. No one could turn it off. The terminal displayed one word: archive. Varn hesitated. His hand hovered over the panel. Everyone around him stood still, watching. He pressed enter. The terminal screen went black for a moment. Then a voice filled the room. It was human, female, calm, cold. You invaded without permission. Now you will learn what your empire chose to forget. The screen lit up again, showing a star map from thousands of years ago. In the center, Earth. Around it, dozens of shattered fleets. Thousands of red markers. The voice continued. This was the Battle of Saul. You call it a myth. We call it a beginning. The screen flashed to another scene. Ancient alien warships bombarding Earth's surface. Giant cities collapsing. Oceans boiling. Humanity on the brink of extinction. Then something changed. A counterattack. The humans didn't run. They adapted. Strange armor. Biosuits. Technology that didn't match anything in known science. Soldiers moving faster than machines. Weapons that responded to thought. Entire fleets were disabled by pulses of light. Alien warlords screamed in confusion as their ships were turned against them, and in the middle of it all stood one human, woman in silver armor. Her voice echoed, "Earth does not fall, Earth remembers." Commander Varn couldn't look away. The archives showed footage no one in the Empire had ever seen. Or perhaps they had seen it and buried it. "You tried to erase us," the voice said, "but you only gave us time to become stronger. We did not vanish. We withdrew. We watched. We waited." Suddenly the image changed again, this time to a council chamber. Hundreds of alien species sat around a glowing table. Maps of the galaxy on the walls. In the center, one seat was empty, labeled Earth. The voice explained, "The humans were once part of your council. Peacekeepers, scientists, builders. But you betrayed us. You feared what we could become. You attacked first. We ended the war, not with weapons but with a warning. The council had agreed to erase Earth's location, to mark it dark, forbidden. Not because humans were weak, but because they were too dangerous." In the camp, silence reigned. General Clith stepped back, his voice shaking. "Everything we know, it's a lie." Commander Varn clenched his fists. "This is why they warned us. Why they left the galaxy." Clith nodded. "They didn't leave because they lost. They left because they won." Then the voice returned one last time. "You stepped into our shadow and woke what should have remained sleeping. This is not just Earth. This is the home of humanity. You have one chance left. Choose wisely." The terminal shut off. No one dared to touch it again. That night, strange lights appeared over the camp, silent ships hovering above. But they didn't attack. They just watched. And deep in the woods, glowing eyes watched back. One soldier whispered, "They're everywhere. We were never alone." Varn sat by the command table, not as a leader anymore, but as a man caught in a storm too big to escape. He whispered to himself, "We made the first mistake." He looked up at the sky. "But will we live long enough to fix it?" The air had changed, not just the wind, but the feeling of it. The silence was no longer peaceful. It was thick, like something was holding its breath. Commander Varn stood on the edge of the ruined camp, staring at the horizon. Nothing moved, no birds, no animals. Even the clouds above were frozen in place. And then, everything shut down. The lights died. The way emergency systems failed. Every weapon, offline. Every ship, dark. The entire fleet, hundreds of advanced alien crafts, all became lifeless husks in an instant. A pulse had passed through them, silent and invisible, but powerful enough to crush the Empire's most advanced tech. The soldiers panicked. Some ran to the armory. Others screamed for help. One group tried to power a backup shuttle manually, but it wouldn't even open. It was like the planet itself had decided they would go nowhere. Varn roared, "Form defensive lines. This is not over." But deep inside he feared it already was. Suddenly the ground trembled. From above the clouds parted. Not by wind, but by force. Something massive moved through the sky, human dropships, thousands of them, but they made no sound. No roar of engines, no flashing lights, just silent descent. Like ghosts falling from the heavens. Each ship was sleek, dark, and shaped like a blade. They didn't land. They floated just above the ground, watching. Then they opened, not with fire but with silence. From each one, black-armored human operatives stepped out, tall, focused, and completely still. No one said a word. Not one. And yet, the aliens dropped their weapons. One alien officer, trembling, fell to his knees. "What do they want from us?" Commander Varn stepped forward. "I don't know." And then one of the humans walked toward him. His armor was scratched, old and glowing faintly, with blue energy. His helmet was smooth with no face. He held out a small device, a cube spinning slowly in his hand. Varn reached for it cautiously. The moment his hand touched it, his mind was flooded with images, cities falling, empires breaking, Earth standing. Then, a voice echoed in his mind, not from the device, but from the man himself. "We gave you a warning, you ignored it. Now you will be marked." The human turned and walked away. The cube vanished from Varn's hand like it was never real, and all around the camp something strange began to happen. The ships, one by one, began to power on. But their control panels were different now. Each one now displayed a single symbol burned into the screen. A red circle with a single slash through it. The human mark. The symbol of warning. The Empire's ships had not been destroyed. They had been tagged. As the humans began to disappear, back into their silent ships, the alien soldiers stood frozen in place. No shots were fired. No blood spilled. But something far worse had happened. The Galactic Empire had been humiliated. They had been spared, not because of mercy, but because of power. The humans didn't destroy them because they didn't need to, and that was the most terrifying truth of all. As the dropships ascended into the sky, vanishing into the clouds, one final message was left behind, burned into the ground near the center of the base. Remember, we watch. Stay away. General Clith stood beside Varn. His voice was low. They could have ended us. Varn didn't answer at first. Then he said, "They wanted us to see. They wanted us to know what they've become." Clith swallowed hard. "What do we do now?" Varn looked to the stars. "We go back, and we tell them the truth. The humans are back, and they are not what we thought." The journey back to Imperial space was quiet, too quiet. The once mighty fleet flew like wounded birds, slow and broken. Their shiny hulls now carried a mark no soldier could remove, the red warning circle given by the humans. It glowed softly on every ship, every weapon, every suit, and everyone in the galaxy could see it. As soon as Commander Varn's fleet re-entered galactic territory, alarms sounded across the Empire. Imperial High Command, stationed on the Golden world of Yultar, immediately called an emergency meeting. 12 grand warlords and governors appeared around the circular chamber, each one cloaked in power and pride. They expected Varn to return in glory. Instead, they saw a live feed of his. Face pale, eyes heavy, voice trembling. "We were warned, and we ignored it. Earth is not what we believed. Humans have changed. They are watching us, and they are stronger than ever." Laughter erupted. Warlord Theris banged his fist. "One old planet frightened your entire fleet? Another spat. You bring shame, Varn, a disgrace to the Empire." But then the feed glitched. For a moment all screens flickered, then turned black. And then the human symbol appeared. A red circle with a single slash, glowing, pulsing. And then a voice, not Varn's voice. A human voice. Calm, clear, everywhere. "You mock what you don't understand. You attack what you can't control. And now you fear what you failed to destroy." One of the warlords stood, shouting at the cameras. "What is this sorcery? Shut it down." But no one could. The voice continued. We allowed Varney to leave. We spared his army. But your arrogance grows. Let this message mark the end of your ignorance. Suddenly, every screen across the entire empire, every planet, ship, and military base displayed a simple phrase: stay away from Earth. The message lasted only 10 seconds, but the damage was done. Across the stars, people panicked. Some called it a joke, others a warning. But the older ones, those who remembered the stories, knew the truth. The humans had returned, and they were not the same species the Empire once fought. In the Empire's royal chamber, silence followed. No one mocked now. No one spoke. Even the loudest warlords sat frozen, unable to meet each other's eyes. Commander Varn's voice came through once more, soft but firm. I failed, not in war, but in listening. They didn't want to fight. They gave us a chance to walk away. We didn't just lose weapons, we lost the Empire's pride. For the first time in hundreds of years, the Galactic Empire was not feared. It was ashamed. Back in the Outer Rim, stories began to spread. Alien traders whispered tales of a man in black armor walking alone across moons, leaving warnings. A damaged cruiser reported seeing a ghostly human ship flying without heat, lights, or sound, hovering then vanishing. Some said Earth was no longer a planet. They said it was a fortress. Others whispered something stranger. The humans are not protecting themselves anymore. They are protecting us from something worse, but no one truly knew. Because Earth had closed its skies again. No signal, no response. Just one message, pulsing from deep space. We watch. We remember. We warned you. The galaxy was no longer the same. The red mark, burned into. Every ship of Commander Varn's fleet had spread like a virus through the stars. It wasn't just a symbol now. It had become a warning flag, a sign of failure, of fear, and of something deeper, a truth the Empire could no longer hide. And then it happened. Across every corner of the galaxy, no matter the species, system, or time zone, a final transmission began. No screen was untouched. No signal was safe. Even planets with locked defenses and private channels were breached. A black screen. Then a slow fade into a dark forest under silver starlight. A single figure stepped forward. Human. Tall. Silent. Wearing armor that looked like shadow and steel mixed together. The figure spoke, voice deep and measured. We asked for peace. You brought fire. We gave you a warning. You laughed. We showed restraint. You saw it as weakness. You sent fleets to our home. We sent you back. Then the screen split into dozens of frames, each one showing moments from the failed invasion, alien soldiers dropping weapons as humans silently approached, Earth's skies glowing with hidden tech, ships being shut down without a single shot, red circles glowing on broken war machines. One by one, the frames faded, until only the human remained on screen. This message is not a threat. It is a closing statement. Stay away from Earth. The screen went black. Then something unexpected happened. The voice returned. Quieter, now softer, almost like it came from the stars themselves. We are not what we were. We do not seek to conquer, but we will not be conquered again. On the Empire's throne world, Emperor Drash, who had ruled unchallenged for over 300 years, stood frozen. Around him, his advisors, generals, and lords sat in silence. Not a single one dared to speak. The mighty Galactic Empire, proud, powerful, endless, had been stopped by one world. And that world hadn't even needed to fight. They had only spoken, and that was enough. In the following days, changes rippled across the galaxy. Systems that once feared the Empire began flying white banners marked with red circles, a silent sign of alliance with Earth. War councils were canceled. Fleets were recalled. Treaties were rewritten, because everyone now understood Earth was untouchable. Not just because of power, but because of something far more terrifying: discipline, precision, control. And the humans had all three. Back on Earth, deep beneath the surface in a hidden command vault, the humans watched the broadcast end. The lead operative, the same one who faced Varn in silence, removed his helmet. His eyes were calm. "Are they ready now?" asked the younger officer beside him. The commander shook his head. "Not yet, but they've been warned. This time the galaxy will remember." He turned off the display. Behind him, rows of armored humans stood in silence, ready, still unseen, still waiting. Just like Earth. Somewhere in the stars, a child asked their grandfather, "Are humans real?" The old man looked up at the sky and whispered, "They are more than real." He touched the red circle painted above their door. "They're watching.